Hey Gwynlos, welcome to Guy on YouTube Buy and Try, which is a completely new video idea that I just came up with right this second. Sponsors have become something of an inevitability on the platform, what with YouTube taking most of the money we make for them. But because of the rising disdain for ads on the internet in general, and a lot of these sponsors getting exposed or straight up obliterated in some cases, a lot of creators and watchers have started turning against them. In a lot of ways, this is a good thing. People should be aware of the deceptive ad practices these companies have been putting into place, and that the more money that goes into marketing, the less money that usually goes into R&D. I already made a video on sponsors a few months ago, but recently I've been getting a lot more ads and sponsor segments on my YouTube videos, some of which have been interesting to say the least. So I wanted to talk about them again, but this time I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, which I'm glad to do because I particularly like the taste of coins. Now that all the intro garbage is out of the way, let's talk about balls again. Sorry, I couldn't resist making that joke again, especially since I've been getting this ad non-stop.
My flower emoji?
Flowers, melons, even eggplants.
His.
Yes, please.
No, go ahead. Tell me where else I can use this. Don't beat around the bush, because this is supposedly for it. Tell me that you want me to spray this on my nut. If you watched my last video, you may remember that I said that I've been using Native's deodorant for a while now, which is true, it's been a few years. However, I have noticed a slight decline in quality and honestly volume of deodorant in the sticks, and for some reason, I got a bunch of comments on that last video saying that because I use Native, they know that I smell bad. They're right, but it's not because of the deodorant I use, it's probably because I've got 45 penguins stowed away in my bedroom. I am actually curious about this. After doing a little bit of research, I have seen a lot of reports of people saying that they started smelling bad after switching to Native deodorant, so I want to get to the bottom of that. I remember that for a little bit after I started using it, I did smell bad, but I just chalked that up to switching to something without antiperspirant and also being a freshman in high school. Also, what the hell is full body deodorant? Is that not just soap or lotion or cologne? Whatever it is, for the sake of this video, I'm buying it, unfortunately. So I'm seeing now that they have a whole body deodorant spray, a stick, and a cream. I gotta make sure I edit this part out so I don't accidentally give you guys my credit card information. Okay, there's that one. Man, all of that talk about smelling awful has really made me hungry, I guess. I'm so hungry, I'm too tired to cook and or go to the supermarket to get ingredients. If only there were some sort of product or service in which I could get the food and or the ingredients shipped directly to my doorstep. I'm talking about Factor and HelloFresh. I don't think I've made it a secret that I'm an undergraduate college student, also known as being in hell. I don't have a whole lot of time to cook or clean or make videos, and yet here I am doing it, neglecting the reading that I should be doing. Either my university or the college board have sold my address because I have non-stop been getting mail from HelloFresh and Factor giving me a student discount that I never asked for. I didn't even visit the websites until I made this video. They're also some of the most commonly advertised products on YouTube right now. I feel like the sentiment towards HelloFresh has changed a lot as well. I used to see it all the time in Drew and Danny's videos, and people seemed to generally like it. And now, after doing a little bit of research, it seems like people are turning the other direction, and for good reason. The whole ass Department of Labor is currently investigating them for, in technical terms, bad stuff. I'll go into that more after I see whether or not their food is just as bad as their labor practices. Okay, so where do I go to get this stuff on the website? Sustainability. Should probably figure out how to sustain some workers first. Alright, looks like I'm done. I'm going to make sure I unsubscribe so I never have to do this again. Factor is a little bit newer, and I haven't heard a whole lot bad about them, and it just seems like their main problem is that they're pretty expensive. I am actually excited to try this. It'll be nice to have a meal ready-made for me whenever I get home from school. So I'm just gonna buy a few of them and move on. Where's the I'm making a YouTube video option? So you can only go down to 6 meals per week? I notice now that they have the same, it looks like they have the same box icon. This looks like the same layout on the HelloFresh website. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's strange. I don't have a segue joke for this one. I'm buying Raycon. I remember when true wireless earbuds had really just popped into the mainstream through AirPods, and Raycon were sort of advertising themselves as a cheaper but just as good alternative. I remember a lot of the sponsored segments would talk about how wireless is so much better and more convenient than having wires, but if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you already know how I feel about that kind of stuff. I'm gonna buy them, test them on the merit of their sound quality versus price, and that'll be that. They're really expensive though, so they're probably gonna be the biggest burden on my wallet in this video, which I'm not excited for. So please, John Raycon, give me a quality product. They're $80. Oh, for $10 more, I can get the Jolly Rancher gummies colored. Let's just go with blue, the antoguino blue. Oh hey, they're advertising Klarna on this. You know, some guy that I know made a video on Klarna. I wonder what his name was. Your second pair of everyday earbuds? Why would I buy a second pair? You haven't even given me the first ones. I don't even know if it's good yet. Sorry guys, I'll have to respectfully decline this offer. Buy money. Now, I guess I just wait for him to get here. Oh, hey. Okay, so I'm sorry for such a jarring cut. I was gonna, like the rest of these products, open this one up, give my first impressions on it after using it and everything. But it didn't happen that way. I was initially gonna figure out whether or not I liked this product by using it for a while. I do not like this product, and I've had it for maybe less than a day. I've had body sprays and colognes before, and none of them have ever smelled like Febreze. This smells like Febreze, and I would not put Febreze on my balls. So I took it out of its box and I sprayed some on my arm, and I smelled it and it gave me a headache. Like I had a headache for like 30 minutes after I did that. That shit sucks. So full body deodorant is solving a problem that shouldn't exist, and it does exist because of deodorant in the first place. I don't know about you smelly freaks, but I typically put on deodorant after I take a shower. Sometimes I'll reapply during the day if I need to, but most of the time, one coat does the job. Basically, I put it on before I start sweating the whole day away, and I figure that's how most other people do it as well. On the contrary, a lot of Native's ads are geared towards the idea that you will be putting this on after you start smelling bad, as well as beforehand. There's plenty of Native ads that I've seen where the person comes back from the gym and they're going out with the girlies, but instead of taking a shower to get all the sweat off, they just spray themselves with this shit. Pop off, queen, go have fun with the girls, but I'm sorry, you are gonna reek. Let me explain. When you're using an antiperspirant deodorant, you're usually not going to sweat at all, which is what it's supposed to do. And regardless of what Native tries to tell you, it's not really a bad thing that it does that. Everyone's skin is different, and I just so happen to get the skin that kills you if you use Old Spice on it. So a little while ago, I switched to Native and I started feeling better, but that's just how my skin works. However, if you are going to get a deodorant without antiperspirant, you cannot use it like Native is telling you to, or any deodorant company for that matter. When you sweat, the bacteria on your skin says, "Can I have some?" and begins to reek because it hates you. Antiperspirant deodorant deprives them of that ability outright, while non-antiperspirant deodorant just tries to mask or deodorize the smell. Either method comes with its benefits and its drawbacks, but because of the convenience, a lot of people choose to have the antiperspirant. You get more versatility out of it as well. You can actually use it how these people in the commercials are. With these kinds of deodorants, you could theoretically put it on and not have to take a shower because you wouldn't sweat and smell bad in the first place. You cannot do that with Native. From my own experience using their deodorant for almost 4 years now, you start smelling bad in the morning, which is fine because I shower daily, but some people don't. You have to clean yourself, especially if you're using a non-antiperspirant deodorant. I should not have to say this, but deodorant is not a viable replacement for a shower, especially not native. And I understand that some people aren't able to take showers daily for whatever reason, and that's fine. The problem is that people do not understand how their bodies work because of the way deodorants are advertised to them, especially ones like native. And really quick, this is a bit of a tangent, but I want to go back to this ad.
Yes, please.
So when this guy just randomly shows up in the commercial, are they trying to imply that his balls stink so bad that she can smell them from there? That guy does not need deodorant. He needs either a shower desperately or to go to the doctor. And ladies, the two of you that watch this, do not introduce things like native to those areas. It is probably not a good idea. And if it really does smell that bad, you should probably go see a doctor. Please be careful if you are going to use something like this. And I noticed this, the whole body deodorant only has a few different ingredients from their normal deodorant, and it's $1 more on top of the already egregious $13 they charge for a stick of deodorant. This is ridiculously overpriced, not useful for what it's advertised for, and likely not better than your average body spray from Bath & Body Works. Probably worse. Not to mention the fact that they have whole body deodorant sticks, which is disgusting. Using a stick of deodorant all over your body, here and here and here, which all have different microbiomes, all different bacteria, that is really gross. We all smell a little bit bad sometimes. That's fine. That's just how human beings are. We should not be obsessed with trying to smell like a fucking can of Febreze all the time. We don't need all of these sprays and whole body sticks to add to the price that we're paying for self-care products where we don't even need them. This is one of the most superfluous things that I've ever seen. It does the job that lotion already does the job that perfume already does, that cologne already does, that deodorant already does. They're trying to tell you that you have to use this on your other areas. You have to. You don't. If you sweat a lot, I could see this being a good idea for you, but it is overpriced. It's not in your best interest to get something like this. The only reason I still use native is because I haven't found another deodorant that doesn't fucking kill me anytime I use it. As soon as I do, I am ditching them as quickly as possible. With all of their shady business practices and deceptive marketing and trying to get people to buy a product that they really do not need, I just don't want to be involved anymore. I would dramatically throw this away, but I am afraid that it is going to damage something. So instead, I'm going to set it down gently and let you get to the Raycon section of this video. She loves my voice so much, she calls me her ears bud. That sounded so much funnier in my head. First impressions, the box is actually pretty nice. I actually really like the way that this is packaged. They feel it feels kind of like opening AirPods for the first time. These are the Raycon Everyday earbuds, which are the ones that usually get advertised on YouTube channels. And honestly, they're not bad looking. The case design is not horrible. Looks pretty similar to AirPods. I actually have some. Let me grab them really quick. Not pretty close. It's almost exactly the same width. Shape-wise, I think they look like standard earbuds. So I'm honestly kind of excited to try them. I was a bit apprehensive at first, thinking that these were probably just gonna be terrible. Let's look at all the goodies they gave us. I gotta make sure I don't waste this sticker. There we go. I'm gonna use these for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I'll get back to you guys probably till the end of this week. I do actually think that I may like these. This is giving good first impressions, and I will compare them to these AirPods, although they'll have a leg up on them because these sound fucking awful now. Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna use them for the rest of the week, and I'll let you guys know. Small build with oh so mighty sound. That's what I say about my wife. These things suck so bad that I changed my favorite color. So just to be clear, a lot of what you think is good in a pair of headphones or earbuds is entirely subjective. It's what you hear out of them and what you like hearing. More expensive doesn't automatically mean better, and cheaper doesn't automatically mean worse. This is especially true in the current landscape where people are far more concerned with convenience, with true wireless earbuds becoming the norm. And that's totally fine. While I personally prefer the reliability of a cable, Bluetooth is undeniably extremely easy to use. So I'm not here to judge people's personal audio preferences. It's not a big deal. What I am here to judge are these $80 royal blue paperweights that sound like tin cans when you put them in your ears. These things are awful in so many ways, and I have a hard time figuring out where to begin with them. So I'll just do it based on the things I noticed chronologically, and the first thing I noticed was how insufferable these things were to control. Let me just read them out to you to illustrate. So to initially turn these things on, you need to take them out of their case, or you can press on the side for about 2 seconds and it'll turn them on. That sounds easy enough, but after that, each side has their own distinct controls. A 1.5 second press on the right side changes through the awareness mode and the active noise cancelling modes, which it shows in the manual, but the order in the manual is different than the order it cycles through. You would, however, be an idiot to try that on the other side, because the other side controls the EQ options, I think, because it doesn't really change them at all. It says that it's got balanced sound, bass sound, and pure sound, all of which sound almost exactly the same. But be careful, because if you hold down for too long and make it 3 seconds, you'll hang up on whoever's calling you. But don't hold down for too little, because then you'll accidentally do a single press, which will turn up the volume or turn down the volume based on which side you're pressing. And by the way, just to be clear, a triple press on the right side skips a song, and the triple press on the left side goes back a song. Now you may be thinking, if a single press on either side turns up or turns down the volume, how do you play or pause music? And so you'd be an idiot not to realize that it's a double press on either side, but be careful again, because there are 2 other controls that are assigned to that button press combination. The 2 other controls associated, of course, are picking up the phone and whatever this phone symbol means. I don't know what that's supposed to be. The manual's definitely not telling me. And so you now must be thinking, wow, that seems terrible, but at least that's all the controls there are, and you'd be dead wrong, because actually there's a quadruple press on either side that does whatever the hell this symbol means. As far as I know, this doesn't do anything. I've tested it on so many different applications. Does it mute me? Does it unmute me? This is a guy speaking clearly, and I have no idea what it does. This isn't even to mention the fact that if you have hair like I do, you're going to be misinputting all the time. You have to actively move your hair out of the way so you can press it properly, or it's not going to register right. On top of that, these things stay on if you take them out of your ear. So in turn, the controls stay on if you take them out of your ear. So again, you're gonna be misinputting things all the time. These things control like hell. I have no idea why they decided to put all of this bloat in here. You don't need turn up and turn down volume. You don't need 2 separate call icons, whatever the hell the quadruple press is. And the active noise cancelling and the EQ modes don't do anything, so why have them? They could have consolidated a lot of this. It's genuinely unreal how bad this is. I tested all of these different modes, all combinations in different sound environments with different songs, and I genuinely could not tell that much of a difference. What the hell are these things even doing? I genuinely cannot figure it out. No matter what I try, changing the ear tips or changing the modes or whatever, they always sound like they're only halfway in my ears. It's infuriating. My earbuds that I plug into my iPod sound way better than this, and I got those for $20, and these are $73. And like I said, sound quality is subjective, so if you like them, fine, cool, that's alright, but I would much rather you go out and buy something like JLab's wireless earbuds that are $30 and sound basically the same, if not better. They advertise all of this active noise cancelling and all of the EQ and whatever, and it doesn't do anything, honestly. Plus, there's always a little bit of static every time you put these in your ear. No matter what, there's like a lot of static. And it sucks because I really wanted to like these things. I really like the color. I like the design. It's sleek. but they just don't work for me. The only time that I use wireless earbuds these days is whenever I need to take a call, and these are terrible for that. I can't control the call easily using the controls on the side of the thing. They're worse than my 3-year-old AirPods. I see genuinely no reason for me to have these. I honestly think getting an adapter for wired earbuds is significantly better than whatever convenience these could provide. And even though these have a little bit of convenience edge over those, these will not last forever because of the battery inside of them. So the adapter and the wired earbuds are gonna last you way longer and be way cheaper. So when they eventually do go bad, do not spring for another pair of these. For this price, sound gets so much better. If you really need wireless and cheap, go for JLab's earbuds that you can put in. You can find them at any Walmart, and they are incredible for the $30 price tag. If you want really good audio quality and you don't mind saving up, save up for something like Sony's or AirPods. Basically, all of the big name earbuds on the market are pretty good. Or if cost is really the only thing that's important and you don't care about wireless, just get wired earbuds. They are significantly better and last significantly longer than any of these ever could. Some of them even have inline controls with buttons, so they're easier to control than these. Raycon are in this little pocket where if I were given these for free, like a lot of the people who get sponsored by them, I would think, yeah, this is pretty good for what it is. But the thing is, I didn't get these for free. I paid $73 for them, and they're garbage for that price. That price tag is what makes this so egregious, as well as the fact that I had to aggressively press them into my ear anytime I wanted to control anything on them. So unfortunately, John Raycon, I'm gonna have to take this sticker off of Essay. Your product sucks ass and it made me sad. Oh man, all of this hating terrible products has made me work up an appetite, and it looks like it's time to get to the next part of the video. Factor. So I ordered 6 of these, and that was the least amount that they would let me order, and I don't remember which ones I ordered because this was like a week ago. I got the cheesy garden herb chicken, chipotle spiced potato and pepper bowl, smoky tofu and baked beans, blackened salmon, garlic herb chicken and creamed corn, smoky Gouda chicken, charred corn and shredded chicken. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this. Cavatappi? How would you say that? I'm noticing now that the logo looks like it says F-. I really hope that's not the score I give these, because this is the food I'm gonna be eating for the next week. And they even gave me a free snack. Hell yes, let's go. Do not apply to body. Do not eat. All right, so we're gonna go through the week. I'm gonna let you know. Momo, it's okay. You're gonna get fed in a second. Oh my goodness. All right, so these are the meals I'm gonna be eating. Looking at them. Oh wow, what the? Which one is this? Cheesy garden herb chicken. This looks nasty. Guys, look at this. Oh, this looks really gross, actually. This one doesn't look as bad. I really hope that these aren't all gross, because this is... The buy-in cost for this, if I remember correctly, with the discount was like $50. And so if this is not good, this was a huge waste of money. So the garlic herb chicken looks pretty similar. My assumption is that a lot of the things they use in here are interchangeable, so it's not as expensive for them to constantly be doing that. But this is supposed to be like a premium meal kit, so I would assume they would do more. I'm realizing now that what I bought, is essentially like really expensive lean cuisine. A concerning amount of sodium in all of these. Most of these, it's one meal, but it has like half of the amount of sodium I should have in a meal. There's also a lot of saturated fat. I got my lean cuisine, my fancy $90 lean cuisine. Essentially, I guess as I go through this week, I will pick one of these when I get home. I will eat it, and I will let you guys know if it's good or not. Why did I buy all of this? I have the Audacity on in the background. It's like I'm a real commentary YouTuber now. So I just got done cooking this. I haven't taken a bite yet. This is how much of the side that they give you. There is like a spoonful of the zucchini in here. I did the math, and whenever I get the actual numbers from my phone, which is recording this right now, I'll put them on the screen. A recurring box every week would be $93 for 6 meals. So that makes it about $16 per meal. This is $16. For reference, my favorite restaurant where I go to get tacos and whatnot, I can get 3 tacos asadas for $10 with chips and salsa and an horchata for an extra $2. So this is more expensive than that. I think it's clear what I'd much rather spend my money on, but I want to give this a fair shake. I haven't tried it yet, so here we go. See, it's not bad, and I didn't expect it to taste bad. All of the cream in here, especially, does not feel healthy. This does not feel like I'm eating something healthy at all. It says to put it in a dish, but I think the people buying this aren't going to be putting them in dishes. This is how it's going to be eaten. And this is a terrible experience. I hate this. This is not $16 worth. A panda bowl is easier to eat out of than this. Normally what I would do is I would put more seasoning on it, like my own seasoning, but this is how it comes and I'm reviewing the product, so I don't want to give it any extra advantage that it didn't earn. I'm gonna eat the rest of it, so you can watch if you want. Dude, why are you looking at me right now? I'm trying to eat my food. Alright, so I finished the food. I'm gonna say it wasn't that bad. The problem comes in where, this is $16. It didn't feel like $16. I feel like what I could have done instead is gone to Walmart and bought a box of a lean cuisine or something, like I said earlier. So, yeah, I'm not impressed. Okay, I'm gonna eat the other ones over the course of this week. I just got home from school, so I have, stuff to do. I'm just gonna run through my notes for the rest of the week quickly so I don't waste your time. The next meal that I had was the smoky Gouda chicken, and it was mostly bland. The portion was bigger, so it was more filling, but overall I think I'd give it a 5 out of 10. This was an extremely boring culinary experience. I would honestly describe it as the smoke equivalent of LaCroix. The next day, I had the smoky tofu and baked beans, which was horrendous. It didn't smell good, the side of mac and cheese was gritty and flavorless, the tofu itself was extremely tough, and the best way to describe this one would be bad barbecue. I don't even typically dislike tofu, but they made it taste awful in this. If any of you live in Texas and you've had bad barbecue before, that is what this tasted like. 3 out of 10. Make this in my home again and I will find you, Frank Factor. Next, I had the blackened salmon with smoked Gouda cauliflower bits and broccoli, and it was also not great. I was initially really worried about what microwaved fish would do to my stomach, but what I should have been worried about is how bad it would taste. The box says that this is one of the spicy ones, and it had virtually no spice at all. The broccoli was disgusting. It tasted like a mix of sour and savory, but it wasn't in a good way. It was in a spoiled way. The salmon itself was mostly okay, but near the end it started to taste really gross, and then I started getting that feeling again of, I just microwaved fish and am eating it right now. This one was gross, and it also made my kitchen smell like fish. 4 out of 10. On Friday, I had 2 meals because I didn't have a lot of time to cook. First was the Chipotle spiced potato and pepper bowl, which was actually pretty great. I really liked this one, save for the beans they give you on the side. There was a good kick to it, the potatoes were tasty, the peppers added in were pretty good, and while it did start to taste worse near the end of it, that's to be expected in a bowl with a lot of sauce. If it weren't for the price, I'd honestly get this one again. 8 out of 10. For dinner, I had the charred corn and shredded chicken cavatappi. This one looked and smelled pretty damn good, but when me and my partner took a bite out of it, we were both disappointed with how bland it tasted. This seems to be a problem with most of the meals, which is strange considering the sodium content. Overall, the main dish was pretty inconsistent. I liked it in some parts and I really didn't like it in others. 5 out of 10. Lastly, I had the garlic herb chicken and creamed corn. This one looked delicious. The side was appealing, the main dish looked good as well, and it even came with a dessert. But again, it was disappointing. The chicken was really tough and dry, and there was barely any of the side. The only thing that I actually kind of liked about it was the dessert, which is kind of unfair because it's just sugar. Also, this is kind of unfair to Factor, but I typically don't like corn. So I had one of my sisters who really does like corn try it, and she said it was not very good. The dessert was actually pretty good. It was a peach and apple crumble, and it worked very well as like a microwave dessert. Because of that, I'm bumping this from a 5 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10. So, after going through a week of this, I've realized that Factor is just bougie lean cuisine. The price breakdown I did earlier found that each of these meals costs about $16, and I don't think any of these pass that threshold. Especially considering the fact that other meals like this can be bought at Walmart for $4. They're either bland, boring, or outright bad, with even the good ones having bad components. And again, why would I ever get these if I could just walk into Walmart with the same amount of money, actually, no, half of the amount of money that it's supposed to be for a box of this a week, and walk out with 10 meals? And you may just ask, why don't you just get the meals that you enjoy? You could say that, but over time the selection changes, and you're gonna get tired of things. Additionally, this company wants to make the decisions for you. They already have things planned out for you for the week. So if you want to have the time saver of not having to cook yourself meals through the week, you have to dedicate time to picking which meals you're gonna do based on what you like, what you don't like on this ever-changing menu. And honestly, there's no guarantee you're gonna like any of them. I thought I was gonna like the salmon, I thought I was gonna like some of the chicken, and a lot of it I didn't. I don't doubt that these are healthier than your average struggle meal, but if I can walk into Walmart and get a different meal prep thing for $4 instead of the $16 that they're charging, it's a no-brainer, especially for a college student. Also, if you really do care about health that much, which you should by the way, you can just meal prep yourself. If you're gonna spend all of this time curating your own box, why don't you spend that time curating the ingredients, then cooking? It's a little extra time, but it's a lot less money. And I'm just gonna say, a lot of these look much worse than they do in the photos on their website. This is what it looks like. This is what it's supposed to look like. These meals are also extremely overcomplicated ingredient-wise, which is, again, really strange because a lot of them end up tasting like nothing. I have no idea why they're advertising these to college students when they cost $16. By that point, hell, I'll just go to Panda, dude. There's no way in hell I'm paying $16 for something when I can just go right now to Panda Express and get a bowl for $10 with some rice and teriyaki chicken. Also, while they're definitely healthier alternatives, there's still a lot of fat and sodium in all of them. I should have written it down, but I checked each of them, and a lot of them had like 40% of your daily value of sodium, or 40% of your daily value of saturated fats. That's a lot considering that many of these meals were only like 600 calories. If you're having one of these for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're not leaving yourself a whole lot of flexibility, and it may be bad for you. I don't think I'd recommend Factor to anyone. You can make healthier food on your own for cheaper, and if you really want cheaper, we already do that with things like lean cuisine. Factor is completely overpriced for what it is, and I think that defeats the whole purpose of it. Man, at least they're not like HelloFresh. Why am I not segueing? Oh, Factor is a subsidiary of HelloFresh? And that took 4 seconds of Googling to figure out? Yeah, so Factor got bought out by HelloFresh a few years ago, and they've been trying to distance themselves from the brand to make people think, oh, they're different things, so I'll just buy Factor, it's not a big deal. They're the same damn company, and I found that out after I ordered them and thought, why do the websites look similar? It's because they're the same website. That's extremely shady, and if you've heard of what HelloFresh has done, you definitely don't want to support them. It gets a whole lot worse than dubiously healthy meals being advertised at a high price to poor people. But the connection is really odd when you realize, where the hell is my HelloFresh box? So for some reason, HelloFresh canceled the delivery of my first box, even though I bought it at the same time to be delivered at the same time as the Factor box. I canceled the subscriptions of both at the same time too, so I have no idea why this happened. Initially I thought, well, that sucks, but I'll just rebuy it, it's no big deal, maybe I'll get it a little bit later, but whatever, it's for the video. And when I tried to do that, they said, well, actually, you've already used your first box discount, so we're gonna make you pay double the amount that we were initially gonna make you pay. So instead of paying $23 for 2 meals that I have to cook myself, which is already kind of egregious, I would have to pay $40 for 2 meals that I would have to cook myself. Again, I'm an undergrad, so there was no way that I'm jumping through hoops to give a company more of my money, especially after they've done something like this to me, especially not HelloFresh. I feel kinda like I got scammed, and after learning this, you might feel that way too. This company is almost a monopoly in the meal prep space. They own Green Chef, Chef's Plate, Every Plate, Factor, U Foods, Good Chop, and more. They, according to Bloomberg, have an almost 80% market share in this industry, which is more than triple all of the other companies in this industry combined. They continue to grow each year, and I have no doubt that over time, they're going to continue swallowing all of these other companies up and puppeteering them, making people think that they have choices in this space. If you get some sort of meal or ingredient delivery service and you switched from HelloFresh because of what they were doing, you have a right to know that your money is still going to HelloFresh. They treat their employees horribly, they union bust, there's allegations of child migrant labor, and when people try to boycott this, they decide to disguise themselves as a different company, still sponsoring on YouTube, with many watchers and creators not being any the wiser. It is reprehensible what they've been doing to these people, doing to these workers, these children, making them work overnights, and they're not getting any consequences because they have so many different companies that so many people don't know are all owned by HelloFresh. And frankly, their food is ass. The labor violations are the more important part, but also their food is ass. These allegations against HelloFresh make them undeniably one of the worst sponsors on this platform, deceiving customers and exploiting employees. They are the poster child of why it's important to research a sponsor before you take their money or give them money. This cannot keep happening. So at the end of it all, what are you supposed to take from this video? That creators who take sponsors are terrible people? That sponsors can only be bad on this platform? I don't know. This is a relatively new job that people can do. Creating things on the internet for a living. You get to do what you love, have a fan base for doing it, and have an impact on people's lives. But the money is inconsistent. You don't always get the payday that you want, or the payday that you need. So when you get offered a large sum of money by a company that wants to sponsor you for a product that seems relatively harmless, it kinda seems like a no-brainer. But no matter what, unfortunately, you are putting a price on your word. That sucks, especially when it comes to being a creative. You may ask why people don't start more Patreons or have more merchandise or the like, but some creators don't want to take money from the people who watch them. Instead of taking directly from the fans, they'd rather a company give it to them. I honestly think that either way is fine, it just depends on the context of what is happening. YouTube, whether or not you want to believe it, is a job for a lot of people. Right now, I'm a full-time student in college, and I have a part-time job to make sure I can pay for gas, to make sure I can pay for tuition next semester, so the time I have to make YouTube videos is limited. Sponsors allow creators who we watch for the price of completely free to make money on their hard work, so we can continue watching the content that we love and enjoy. Does that automatically make a sponsor good? No, absolutely not. If a sponsor comes out as a bad company, you should cease working with them. And in many cases, at least with the creators that I watch, they will. They'll stop working with sponsors that have come out as bad companies and even go back to old videos like with BetterHelp and cut out the sponsored segments entirely. Many of HelloFresh's biggest advocates have stopped working with them entirely, and I think that's a really good show of responsibility. It shows integrity, and it shows that they do care about what they're promoting to their audience. I've also seen a lot of people make videos like this one, where they blame the people buying these products for buying them in the first place. But I don't think that's fair either. The creator that gets sponsored by a product is not responsible for what happens behind closed doors, something that they could never know about. And a watcher shouldn't be blamed for getting duped by a product that was advertising itself as something good, like Raycon, like HelloFresh, like Factor. I've even made this mistake before. For free! Honey didn't pay me a goddamn cent, and I still said, hey, I've had a good experience with using this product, so I don't think it's all that bad. And we all know how that turned out! So while you and I don't enjoy sponsors or shameless product placement, we have to understand why it exists. Until we find another way, it's unfortunately here to stay. Bars. Sorry for the more serious ending bit there, Guinos, but I really do feel strongly about all of this. I think it's important that creators have integrity and they take responsibility in what they decide to promote, but we also have to have the nuance to understand that they don't know everything about every company ever. As a general rule of thumb, like I said the last time I made a video like this, I'm not going to promote something to you guys unless I would use it myself. I think this is a philosophy that more people should adopt so we stop getting gambling ads in mobile games. If you want to support me, since I've likely annihilated the chance of any sponsor reaching out to me anytime soon, I'd like if you would subscribe or like the video. That would honestly help a lot. Or if you're an insane person, this is actually a shirt that I'm selling, and you can buy it and label yourself as a Guino. And Guino means really cool and awesome person. I worked really hard on the design. I'm really happy with how it came out. I'm really proud of it, and I hope you guys like it too. Also, I started a membership. Don't feel obligated to join it or anything, but it's just if you feel like you want to support me, I would really appreciate it. And I'd feel bad if I didn't give anybody any perks. So it's $5 and you get a different shirt option, and the shirt option that you get is $5 cheaper than this shirt. So it still maths out to being the same price, because I feel like that would be really mean if I charged you $30 instead of $25 for one of the different designs. So that's how I decided to do it. Again, don't feel obligated to give me money. I'm just a guy on the internet. You can just watch me for free and go about your day. Shout out to my sister Issa and her roommates Danny and Amelia. Thanks for playing Mahjong with me, except for Danny, you weren't there. Anyways, Guinos, I put off too many assignments to make this video, so if I don't lock the hell in, I'm going to fail the semester. Bye.
Keep stepping at your, keep stepping at your own